welcome to our third and final game of the evening, Toki Time Trial. Uh, just to be upfront, this game has nothing to do with either Toki or Toki Tori. Um, this is a brand new release, hailing from June 20th, and I think this is the first student project game we've featured on the program. Uh,
Yeah,
it's like
this is a game from DigiPen, the game design school that you all remember
Yeah.
ads for in all your issues of EGM and Nintendo Power. If you're making me feel really old,
yeah, the publisher and the developer is DigiPen Press. So this comes from their student body, uh, and it's a free game, which is why everyone managed to play it. Yeah, this is one of those weeks where I had to do the heavy lifting on the provided code side of things. So, I found this on Steam in their free game section, and it was short enough where I'm going, yeah, this will do, because it's not very long. It's about 4 levels.
though each level is a series of rooms, but
And the time trial thing here is a bit egregious because, yeah, you can see
more. You are timed, but it's more trials that involve time.
Right. And
because you have in this game the ability to stop time. Betty can right click.
Literally stop time, because when you stop time, the timer actually stops. So it's not really reading an accurate record of how much time you're spending in any one level. The timer's there more for the aesthetics.
Yeah, I was curious if there was like a limit to how much you could stop time. There did not really seem to be, although there are some things that move when time is stopped, so I imagine later on there are reasons you don't want to stay time stopped for too long.
That's because this isn't really concerned about speed running, but puzzle solving. This is a puzzle game. So if you
it's kind of in the same spirit as Portal, only without the comedic dark comic narration, in that you're given a fairly limited set of mechanical abilities to work with, and then a lot of puzzles that iterate on those abilities in different ways.
Well, I mean, it's funny you bring up Portal, because not too many people might know this, but Portal was born out of DigiPen. Like, there was a previous game.
That
served as the basic rough draft version of Portal. And that's basically what we got here. This is really a rough draft of a game more than an actual game. As you'd probably expect from a student project. There are good kernels of an idea here, but it's really rough. Like, the actual game plays pretty clunkily.
Yeah, it's first-person platforming. I don't know if there's controller support. There doesn't seem to be, but even if there isn't, or even if there is, it's still kind of clunky. I mean, at least you have feet. So, and there's actually one of the side objective in this game is to look at all the notes. And one of the notes early on is that, hey, a lot of people, jump better if they look at their feet.
Yeah, and here we go. The game that Portal was based off of is called Narbunocular Drop.
Right. I couldn't remember the name, but I remembered it had a fake word as the first word.
Yeah.
Petty, you want some help with this one?
Yes, please.
The thing shoots a disc every time you stop time. If you start and restop time repeatedly, there will be several discs flying.
Yeah. Yep. There are inventive uses of mechanics here. It's just there's not much here.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's like I'd say this game will take you about half an hour to get through if you're good.
Yeah, if you're not good, it'll take longer, and not all the things are entirely, intuitive. Like, once you gain the ability to throw discs, you have to figure out... I mean, there's a hint for it a couple rooms after the first puzzle where you have to solve a thing with this. But you can't actually throw discs while time is stopped.
And you can see the presentation here is pretty basic.
Well,
Um,
you can drop discs and stand on them.
Yeah, but you
Yeah.
can you can shoot another disc while you're standing on top of the first one, and you can make stairs that way.
yeah, like I said, this does.
But these are like spoilers for like the first 5 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
So
Once again, we are
I
talking
imagine
about
there is a version of this where your character shouts "the world" every time.
that would get really annoying considering how quickly you have to start and stop time sometimes.
I
Yeah,
know,
I'm
but
like-
every time.
Not surprisingly, the review section has JoJo references in it.
Who would have fucking thought?
Like, believe me, that is better than what review sections can be filled with.
I am aware.
Especially since it kind of goes black and white when you stop time.
Yeah.
They knew what they were doing. They knew full well what they were doing.
I mean, it's kind of hard to rate this on a proper scale because, it's...
Like, if they
It's-
were charging money for this,
Mhm.
and it was a AAA, or considered to be like a full AAA title, then yeah, it would be horribly overpriced. But this is a free game, and it's kind of a fun
Yeah,
gimmick for platforming. It's a little bit clunky, but I don't know, you can kind of get used to it. The biggest flaw I have with this, honestly, is the lack of controller options.
yeah, it's like everything's very basic, right down to the lack of volume control.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
And it could be a little bit smoother in terms of like platforming controls too.
well, it's like this is definitely a thing in need of refinement, but given what it is, this is probably somebody's final exam rather than a proper game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it exceeds at what it does, and that is displaying first-person JoJo mechanics.
Yeah, and it has honestly, for the vast majority of the puzzles in this game, they have pretty good conveyance, of what you're supposed to do to solve the puzzle.
Yeah.
It's not, the puzzles aren't like super. They can be tricky to execute sometimes, but they're not like really super hard to figure out what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. So, given the rubrics we're measuring this on, an easy recommend.
Yeah, at least check it out. It's certainly harmless, and
even you're probably, even if you don't like it, you're not gonna spend much time on it. Like, and I just mean that as an experience, it's pretty short.
mm-hmm.
And if you get stuck somewhere, you can select the next level. Like, there are 4 levels.
It loads in practice mode, I think.
Yeah.
Which means you don't quite count for having beaten it for like achievement purposes or whatever. I don't think there actually are achievements, but
I didn't see achievements in this.
Mhm.
So, yeah. So, yeah, if you're playing for achievements, look elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Though, admittedly,
and they do. And I did look ahead a bit, and there are more hazardous things other than just lava floors and ceilings.
Right.
So,
But
the challenge does escalate, but it seems to escalate in a fairly logical way.
Yeah. And hopefully the people who developed this will be able to refine this idea into something more substantial
Mhm.
and refined.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Yeah, the idea of the projectiles being discs that become platforms when time is stopped is pretty neat, actually, I think.
yeah, it's like if this game reminds me of another game besides Portal, it's Quantum Conundrum. Anyone else remember that?
Vaguely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't too popular. It's a game where you had to shift dimensions to do puzzle things, or architects. It's a first-person puzzle game that has potential. And I think that'll about do it for our reviews this week. So coming up on the week ahead, let's see. On Tuesday, we've got Norwegian names, so bear with me.
Godspeed.
I'm like, ooh, my tongue is just cringing at this. Yingvil Hopen. I'm hoping I pronounced that right. of Henchman and Goon. They are the creators of the co-op platformer Pode, of which a couple of our members have been playing. And on Wednesday, we'll be having Anthony Marinello of Katsu Games, mobile developer. Been a while since we've had a mobile developer on the program. Looking forward to it. And yeah, that'll about do it. So until Tuesday, I shall wish you good gaming.